Good evening. Welcome to the 888 Poker Nations Cup, where 6 teams are bursting with pride for a first prize of $100,000. I'm Jesse May, and with me in the commentary box, a poker champion. He's never used wild cards to win, Barney Boatman.
Jesse, they're all wild to me.
Let's have a look at how the tournament works. The teams play 6 heats, with 1 member of each team competing in each. Players score points for their team depending on their finishing position. At the end of the 6 heats, the total points accumulated by each team will determine how many chips they begin the final with. The final is a tag game, where the team captains will substitute players as the game progresses. Winners take home the first prize of $100,000 and the trophy. This is the situation so far after 2 heats. Couldn't be closer among the top 4. Denmark with a narrow lead of 13 points, but Ireland, Sweden, and USA, they're all there with 12. Great Britain and Germany, however, they have got to get a move on. Well, that's where things stand. Let's have a look at the makeup of these 6 teams. Denmark, Barney, will be delighted with their start. Not only are they the leaders, but they've played their internet qualifier already.
That's right. They're one of 3 teams in that top group of 4 who've done that. Fantastic performance from Theo Jorgensen to win the first heat, and they've got such a strong team following through. You have to make them big favourites to be up there amongst the top point leaders at the end.
2 final 3 finishes gave Ireland 12 points, but have they blown their gaskets?
No, I don't think so, Jesse. That's a very solid start from them, but they've got a lot of big guns still to come.
What a performance Sweden got out of their online qualifier, Jens Lekström to win, and now it's just good, better, better.
Yes, they're incredibly strong, the Swedes, incredibly strong. No weak links there, and no surprises to see them up amongst the leaders, Jesse.
Great performance from the USA, 12 points, and what a hero in Greg Jennison.
That's right, and I really think he's given Captain Robert Williamson a bit of a problem, because he played absolutely fantastic, particularly that call at the end, and he deserved to win his seat. So who's Robert Williamson going to pick for the final now?
Well, I'm worried about Great Britain, Barney. Devilfish Ollie, the captain, could only garner 1 point.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much, Jesse. I mean, it was a strange heat, and Dave Elliott, he walked into a minefield there, but really strength in depth in the British side, and from now on, I think you're going to see them up there in every single one of the heats, and I don't expect Great Britain to be too far behind the pack by the end of the next 2 heats, Jesse.
Great Britain might be able to come back, but can Germany a 6th and a 5th? What are Michael Kiner's choices now?
Well, Michael Kiner has got some good players left to play, of course, himself, and the very, very strong Andreas Krause, and I think he's going to have to put in somebody to steady the ship right now. They came into this tournament as underdogs, and they're the ones with the biggest struggle at the moment, Jesse.
Have you got pins? Are there needles? Let's find out from the captains who they've selected for tonight's heat.
For this heat, Team USA picks Thomas Keller. Thomas is mainly an online player, but a great one, and he plays a lot of shorthanded poker, and I don't think people realize how great of a player he is. He's got a tough heat, but he's going to get there. I got a good feeling for Thomas.
I got a lot of critic to pick Katja from Germany, but watch out and see how she plays. She will be a big surprise.
I have selected Mihaela for Ireland. She won quite a large satellite and won it convincingly. We expect her to do rather well.
I picked Furkan for Team Sweden today. He came to me this morning with fire in his eyes. He said he was ready to play, so I think it's the best choice for today's match.
Today I put Christian in for the Danish team. He's a good solid player, and I think he will match the other players pretty good at the table.
Okay, the reason Tony Bloom has been picked to play for Great Britain this evening is because it didn't arrive yesterday and it can't be here tomorrow. So we didn't have a lot of choice with Tony. I'm going to kick him up the backside. But anyway, he's a great player, and hopefully he'll do the business and win for Great Britain.
Keeping the waters steady is Thomas Kremser from the International Poker Federation, and dealing, of course, Marina Kremser and Stevie. So heat number 3 of this 888 Poker Nations Cup underway. And Barney, big surprises here in the captain selections. Germany going with an unknown quantity in Katja Tatar.
Well, Jesse, this is unknown to us, but I know that Michael Kiner rates Katja Tatar very highly, and I think he's saving himself for the final heat.
Well, we've got action this very first hand. There was a raise by Sweden's Fuat Kan and called quickly by Denmark's Christian Grundtvig and also Tony Bloom. And look what Tony Bloom's playing with, 3-4 of hearts.
Well, he's the one with the fresh cards. And Grundtvig has Khan completely dominated here. The diamond should come down.
So I'm really looking forward to this heat. I mean, Great Britain needs Tony Bloom to right the ship, and he's probably the best in the world at this format.
Tony Bloom has the 4 flush, the up and down straight for Khan. Tony Bloom, knowing that with these deep stacks he can take shots early on, cool with these kind of hands, and I expect a little bit of action here.
Ball check.
Oh, they all checked.
That's quite surprising.
Fuat Kan was leading, and now...
Well, Tony completely disguised his hand. He's hit a flush here.
Check.
No one will expect him to have it.
Check.
Thomas Keller might start to fancy his 2-8s. Should Tony bet here or check?
Yes, no, he should definitely bet. You would have expected somebody to bet the 4 flush on this flop. They're not going to be putting him in his hand. They might think he's just trying to steal with position.
550.
And Khan might take a look at this.
Thunder Keller, winner of a World Series bracelet 2 years ago, one of the most heralded young players in America, and he's not getting out of line with the 2-8s.
No, there's too much danger on that flop for him.
Tell you what, everybody very cagey here.
Yeah, discipline pass from Khan. He knows he only had a draw that could have been to something that couldn't win anyway.
Pass.
I think if Tony had had a stab on the flop, he would have got a bit of action.
Our first look at some very good players, and nobody has done anything silly. Tony Bloom takes the first pot, but could it have been more?
The action starts with each player receiving 2 cards face down from the dealer. The 2 players to the immediate left of the dealer post the blinds. They can call, or raise, or they can fold. Once this round of betting is over, the dealer reveals the flop. 3 community cards dealt in the middle of the table. More betting follows, then comes a 4th card, the turn card, and the 5th card, known as the river. Players must make the best 5-card poker hand using the 7 cards available.
One hand played, and you can see what a wise choice by the British captain, David Ulliott, getting Tony Bloom to steady that ship, as you call it. Really expect him to do well in this, Bernie.
Yes, a good captain's role play by Mr. Ulliott. And really, pound for pound, there probably isn't a better tournament player in the world. Mind you, he only weighs about a stone.
Raised to 125.
Well, I do believe he's come out with the intention of playing this fast.
Re-raise.
The raise is to 125, and Thunder Keller has announced a re-raise. He hasn't got much, Barney.
Pass, pass.
Well, it's interesting that he didn't get busy against 3 opponents with a bigger pair before, but he knows that Tony Bloom's likely to raise with a lot of hands. He wants to isolate him, find out where he is. Tony Bloom with a big problem here. Keller, perhaps the most aggressive player on the table. And it's not good news for Tony Bloom that he's got him on his left.
Is that also a bit of a message that Thomas Keller wants to establish early? You're not going to push me around. The first hand he's played against him, he comes in re-raising.
Well, he was involved in the other hand as well, but this was a one-on-one situation. He knows that Tony Bloom's likely to be raising a lot of pots. He had a pair, and he wanted to find out where he stood. And as you say, he wants to dominate Tony Bloom, who I'm sure he'll see as his most dangerous opponent on the table.
My nickname is Thunder, and it comes from this casino out in Arizona when I was just, when I had not been playing for too long, but I was doing really well out there, and they just seemed to say it was really intimidating whatever I played, so they called me Thunder. I'm pretty excited about playing today. I love team competition, and you don't usually get to do a lot of team competition in poker, so I'm definitely excited.
6 teams here. First heat won by Denmark, second heat won by Sweden, and both of those heats were actually won by a post-to-post winner, that first chip leader. I mean, how important do you think the chip lead is in this tournament?
Oh, Jesse, it's absolutely vital. Once you get a chip lead in this, you can
Raise.
really push them around because no one wants to go out early.
Raise to 150.
And Roach has found her voice.
Re-raise.
She's found a nice hand.
500.
She's raised, and there's been a re-raise by Fuat Khan.
Yeah, the raise was to 150 from Mihaela. Re-raise with the ace-queen, Fuat Khan, 2 overcards to 500. And it'll be interesting to see what Mihaela wants to do here.
Yeah, I don't really think she's going to put this down. She's going to take a flop, and that's quite right. Jacks is not a bad hand, six-handed. She knows they're aggressive. She knows they're going to try and push her around. She might be looking for a small flop. Not a bad flop for a pair of jacks, Jesse.
Will she be worried about the overpair? The queens, the kings, the aces.
Well, she's having a little tickle to find out.
Raise.
Well, now the test is really being put on Mihaela Roach. She would make a straight with an 8. That might help her to make a call here. But she really asked a question with a small bet, and Khan is representing something much bigger than he's got.
I mean, Mihaela, of course, if she was only playing for herself, she might stick her chips in, but she knows she needs points for Ireland. Can she dig down deep to find this call?
Yes, she can, Jesse. I like this play. She'd love to see an 8 now, then she'd really know where she was. But she's not giving up easy, and will can't. Oh, that's a perfect card for Roach. If she checks this,
Check.
and she's playing it brilliantly as well.
She
Bet
really is.
2,000.
She's got him.
She's induced the play from Khan. All he's got is a gut shot jack for a bigger straight, and she's got 2 of those. She's not going to get off this hand now. This is fantastic news, Jesse, for the Irish team.
Call.
She's only called.
She's setting the trap, and he may still think he's pushing her around. He may still have another pop on the river.
Mihaela's hands are shaking, but there's only 2 cards in the deck that Fuat Khan and Sweden can win this pot with. The pot is huge.
More, please.
She's played it absolutely perfectly, Jesse.
Fuat Khan is doing himself in. Sweden could be out early, or they could be short.
He's trying to push around the online qualifier, and he's oh, and now that's a card that might make him feel he's hit the front, the way she's played this.
Showdown, please.
No, well, that's the thing is that saved him in a way. He didn't have to bet again because in case the aces were actually winning.
Well, Ireland will be cheering and whooping it up in the green room right now. Mihaela Roach with a great start here to 7,000. The only internet qualifier at the table, Barney, and she is the early chip leader.
Great play, that will steady her nerves. Fantastic news for the Irish team, and the only little bit of bad news was the ace on the river, which maybe stopped Khan from having a further stab.
The slow play maximized for Ireland, and her hands may be shaking, but her heart is strong. Early on, still in the first level, and of course, Mihaela Roach from Ireland is the chip leader.
The great thing for her now is she can wait a long time. She doesn't have to be playing any hands. She doesn't feel like playing.
Raise to 125.
And the player's beginning
Pass.
with 5,000 in chips. Those green chips, 25 each.
Pass.
The black chips worth 100, and the browns worth 500 apiece.
Call.
Called in the big blind
2 players.
by Grundtvig from Denmark, and he's got the pocket
Oh
pair.
my God, and he's found to check this. He's flopped a set.
Check.
Tony Bloom's got to have a stab at it, you would think, but his instincts are very good.
You know, Tony Bloom is one of those players, when the flop comes down, he's always watching the player, not the cards.
Raise to 500.
He's hoping that Tony will think that he's representing the rubbish on the flop, which of course good players can do. But Tony's got none of this, and I don't think he'll be putting any more chips into the pot, Jesse. And he just gave it as well up to make sure Grundtvig knew that he wasn't messing about, that he had a big hand.
A little extra time taken from Great Britain, but Denmark always going to win that pot once the flop came down.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Here we are, third heat of the 888 Poker Nations Cup. So it is Katja Tata from Germany under the gun, folding, and here comes Mihaela Roach. This is only the second hand she's played.
Well, you know it's going to be a big hand, and so it is. And they all know it's a big hand too. But Fuad Khan is cool behind her with a hand which is absolutely dominated by the ace-king. I don't know why you would want to call a solid player with that kind of hand when you're already low on chips. He obviously just wants to make it personal. He thinks he can outplay her. He thinks she got lucky last time. He wants to play her off a flop.
Well, this is a bit of a dangerous flop.
But look at this, she's got the ace of hearts, Jesse. Once again, if he tries to get her off, she's got enough to stay there.
300.
And he's got naught but a jack for a straight, and it would have to be a jack that wasn't a heart.
Well, interestingly, Thomas Keller is in this hand. He has second pair and a heart draw. This is a pretty middling hand for him. How's he going to play it?
Well, he's actually in front at the moment.
Call.
He doesn't know whether he wants to see a heart or not. I guess not. But I like Roach's position because she knows exactly what she wants to see.
A heart would make Mihaela the nuts. The best flush possible. And, of course, Fuad Khan looking really for an offsuit jack.
Well, Keller's in front at the moment.
Nines are good.
Nines are good.
Check. Check. I'm all in.
I like this play. I like this play. He feels that they were calling for something that they've missed. He's absolutely missed. Only one way to win the pot.
There was 1,400 in there, and Fuad Khan said it's too much to leave behind. And this is going to be a huge test for Thomas Keller.
He's certainly considering it. He's thinking about the way the pot played out, the way it was checked on the turn. Has that 5 made Khan's hand, or was he trapping on the turn? He knows that Khan's made this bet with a big hand or nothing.
It's a pretty big bet, isn't it? 1,400. It would be about 33% of Thomas Keller's stack, and he's got the weight of the USA riding on him. Fold!
Pass.
Fuad Khan is going to win this!
Well, that's a great move by Khan. He's got himself right into the game. A tough decision for Keller. He knew the check on the turn was suspicious, but in the end it was just a bit too expensive, and Khan's got himself back into this game now, Jesse.
You can call it desperation, or you can call it the courage of Sweden, but Thomas Keller doesn't know how close he came to peeling Sweden out of the equation.
Well, if you look at his face, I think he does know that he may well have been close there.
It's pretty wide open right now.
It certainly is. With Roach having got off to that fantastic start, you know she's going to be around for a long time in this heat. Everyone else fairly level, and even Khan has played himself back into the game.
Pass.
Folded around to Mihaela Roach on the button.
Well, it's not her style to be stealing this early in the game, Jesse, and she's not. She's got the ace-king.
Pass.
If Grundtvig decides, well, he's going to take a flop, I think they're going to play her this way. They're going to take flops and try and get her off them. And this is a good opportunity for Grundtvig to do exactly that.
Check.
Well, I like the fact that she's following through the bet. She's representing the overpair. Will Grundtvig try to make a play on her? They're going to give her a lot of respect when she comes out betting, and it's working nicely for her. Nice play.
It was a great bet, really. Last time she checked the ace-king on the flop, but this time the strong bet out has taken it. It was the best hand.
Mihaela's great crack. I mean, I think she told me yesterday she'd played once before, and that was in the pub, and she finished 12th. We didn't really want to ask how many players were in the thing in the pub, but you know, she's qualified off the internet. She's beaten off 200 players. But this is one of the beauties of this event. You know, like she's played one live tournament before. She's qualified off the net for nothing, and she's on a complete free roll, and she's getting to play with, you know, people that she'd only ever seen on TV, and she's having the time of her life. I mean, I really hope for her sake that that she plays well and she enjoys herself, because I mean, she's so fired up. It's tremendous.
Well, there's 2 women players in this heat, and they are out in front. Is there an upset in the making? Good stuff so far.
Raise to 350. Pass. Pass.
Coming in with a strong raise, with a strong hand.
Raise to
Grundtvig
850.
coming in with a re-raise. And no surprises there, it's his turn to have the kings, and she's got a much bigger problem than Keller had.
Oh, this is incredible. We're seeing big pairs all over.
I think she may well have a look here. Well, what a fantastic pass. I don't know if she read Grundtvig there or she just realised that you're more likely to get in trouble with this hand out of position. You're not likely to be raised by ace-jack. What does she want him to have? But what a great pass. Not easy to lay down ace-queen at this level, at this stage, with this deeper stack. And Michael Kiner, the captain of Germany, must be very, very proud and very pleased with his selection. She's shown some real class here today, Jesse.
I know her game very well, and I could see how she improved her game during the last 6 years. So she might be a dark horse in the international circuit, but this will change very soon, I promise you.
Everyone's still remaining. 6 players at this 888 Poker Nations Cup heat.
Pass.
100 around. More if you like it.
Well, Tony Bloom likes it.
Raise to 275.
His standard raise with the ace-10.
Pass.
Very hard to read that sort of raise.
A re-raise by Tata,
Raise to 600.
and she has Tony Bloom absolutely dominated.
Pass. Pass.
Tony Bloom having a look, and he could get into trouble here, Jesse.
Well, this is marvelous. I mean, Tarta earlier folded an ace-queen to a raise. She's now re-raised with the ace-jack. She's been right both times, and unfortunately, she's just been outflopped.
Well, that's very, very unfortunate. This is not just desserts for Tata at this stage. Tony probably going to check this. Right now, he wants to know if he's in front, and he's thinking about the cheapest way to find out.
Check.
1,200.
1,200.
Oh, that's a big bet. I tell you what, there's a lot of hands that can beat Tony Bloom, and he will not. You cannot judge him harshly for thinking he might be up against one of them.
It's an absolute steal by Tata. She's representing, she's following through, she's giving nothing away. I'm very, very impressed by the way she's playing. Tony Bloom with a big problem. He's wondering now whether he should have put a little feeler bet in himself. It's going to cost him a lot of money to find out whether he's in front with his second pair.
I mean, the stakes are tremendous here because Germany up against Great Britain, they're the 2 teams that cannot go out first. And what guts by Tartar to have stuck in a quarter of her stack here with only an ace high. She needs a king.
Well, it's a strong call by Tony Bloom. I think he's hoping to get a check on the turn, but he was studying her, he was studying the flop.
Check. All in.
She's gone all in.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant play. She's not worried about going out first. She's put the pressure, she's turned the screw, and if he finds a call here, it'll be world class. It'll be extraordinary. This is poker absolutely at its best, Jesse, and she's giving nothing away.
This is the play of the tournament for me so far. You wouldn't like to steal Katya Tartar's lunch money, I guarantee you that.
Tony Bloom taking his time. He's studying her. Will she crack?
Tony Bloom must feel like he's been hit in the stomach with a lead weight.
It's impossible to exaggerate, Jesse, the pressure you feel when you've moved all your chips in with naught by a gut shot, with absolutely no hand, and one of the best players in the world is staring you down. He knows that she's capable of making this kind of play. He knows that a lot of the time second pair is good, and he'll study for a long time. But if he calls this, I will be very, very impressed. And right now, the player of the day is Katya Tata.
I can't see him call it. I mean, he can beat ace-king.
Whoa, what a fantastic play. Give her the freedom of Germany, Jesse. That was a brilliant move. To fire one bullet on the flop, that's one thing. But to move all in on the turn with no hand, And look, she's giving nothing away even still. She hasn't cracked a smile. And Tony Bloom doesn't know what hit him.
If there was anything that was going to reinvigorate the German team, it was a performance like this. They must be going wild right now. And Great Britain looks a bit shell-shocked.
Well, you can't blame Tony Bloom for giving that one up. But what a fantastic play that was.
Everyone's still remaining. 6 players at this Poker Nations Cup heat.
Pass. Pass. Pass.
Thunder Keller, who's down to about 3,400, now finds himself on the button. And I believe he's going to be raising about 99% of the pots from this position when it's folded around to him. Oh! Oh, my.
Once again, immaculate timing.
Pass.
Katja Tata is playing the best poker at this table. She has made every move perfect. She has not turned over a hand.
And look at this, Keller having a look with a very, very difficult hand to play against Ace-10.
I tell you what, everyone's getting the needle against Katja. Do they think she's bluffing?
Well, we know that she's capable of following through when she has missed the flop. Keller does not know where he is. He doesn't want to hit a 10, we know that.
What an interesting move by Katja not to follow through here. And Keller say he's not falling for it.
She's out of position this time, and Keller has hit that jack. That's very, very unfortunate. She does have the ace of clubs. How is she going to play this flush draw?
600.
Well, this may be the first pot where Tata wishes she had played it differently. A bet on the flop would have won it. Now she's got the nut flush draw. Is she folding?
I don't know, Jesse. She may be trying to remind herself of the suit of her ace. She knows now she's got the nut flush draw.
The bet is 600.
I don't think she's putting this down, Jesse.
Do you see anything? No.
The first crack in her armour shown.
Call.
She is calling. Keller does not look thrilled.
Oh, she's thrilled now.
Check.
Well, it's very, very hard for her to get paid whatever